Going on, everyone? So I'm somebody that thinks the Lakers actually had a very good offseason, right? They solved basically all their needs, got a legit 3-and-D Wayne and Jake LaRavia, who's young. Yes, little unproven, but the numbers back up that he's a legit two-way defensive player. Had a video over on As It Stands Lakers that I break down his entire defense. So if you're curious about that, go check it out over on that channel. But Jake LaRavia gives you a legit 3-and-D wing. You got a real kind of, wild card potentially in Adu Thero, a guy that is looked at as one of the better ready-made defensive guys coming out of the draft. On top of that, you add in DeAndre Ayton, who, top 10, top 12 center at worst? Right? Like, can you name 10, 11 centers better than DeAndre Ayton, right? Like, I know that there's going to be trolls that are like, like Isaiah Hartenstein and stuff. Like, no, stop. Like, legit better than DeAndre Ayton. Talk about a guy that is a 17-10 guy for his career, right? Like, and he's lazy, unmotivated, checks out, like all of that. We'll see. And then on top of that, add in Marcus Smart. On top of that, you got Luka, and he's going to be motivated, hungry, and this just kind of feels like the season of like motivation. Right? You got Luka, who's motivated, ready to flip the bird, ready to go out and just ball out like a madman. You have Marcus Smart, who's ready to prove himself and have a better year than he did last year. Jake LaRavia needs to prove himself. DeAndre Ayton needs to reinvent himself. Right? You kind of go down the list of guys. It's like, wait a minute, like this might be a really good year to where you might get the best versions of some of these guys. And even though I do think that there is a chance for the Lakers to win an NBA championship. I really do. I mean, the thing that I think is comical is like Lakers were a center away from winning a championship last year and solved that on top of getting upgrades in other areas. And now they're trash. Now they're the worst team in basketball, right? It's just crazy to me. And I understand other teams got better too, but Clippers have a ton of question marks. Denver has a ton of question marks. Like the Rockets have a ton of question marks. Like, their biggest need was offense, not defense. They were already one of the best defensive teams in basketball. They needed offense. They needed to be able to score the basketball too. That was their problem. And Kevin Durant by himself might not be enough. Maybe it is. I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell. But the point is, I think the Lakers are going to be in the mix. I really do. I think the Lakers have potential to be really good. However, are they like a bona fide contender? Or are they one of the, 3 to 5 best teams in all of basketball? I don't know. Maybe, right? Depends on how it looks. Like even the Clippers. You look at the Clippers. You look at Dallas. Dallas is another. You look at these teams on paper. They clearly are the best teams in basketball. But we've seen paper doesn't always translate. I mean, the Lakers have had several teams that on paper look like, what was it, 2021? That team on paper looked like they were going to go 82-0. And they didn't even make the play-in. Right? Like, they were awful. They were god-awful. Right? We've seen teams. If it was just solely on paper, the Clippers would have won 10 championships by now because they've been the best team in the league for 15 years. Right? Like, the Phoenix Suns would be getting ready to three-peat rather than, blowing it up and tearing it down. Like, again, paper doesn't translate to everything. It's about chemistry and the teams putting together. And you have basically the same team you had last year, which was the 3 seed in the Western Conference, but upgraded the center position and the depth. I literally see comments on this where like, but Lakers have no depth. They added Adu Thero, right? They added Jake LaRavia, and they added Marcus Smart. Right? Like, okay, let's remove Thero because he's a rookie. Okay, fine. They added Jake LaRavia, Marcus Smart, and DeAndre Ayton. Right? DeAndre Ayton's kind of more the smart starter, but now Jackson Hayes doesn't have to be the starter. He gets to go to the bench, which is now gives you bench production, right? Like, things like that. But what do the Lakers need? Right? Because here's the thing. There's clearly a need, in my opinion, for the wing spot, right? A starting level wing, 2-way, 3-and-D wing. There's also, I think, for a higher backup center, right? So if you could solve like an Andrew Wiggins and a Nick Richards, I think Lakers are probably the best team in basketball, or one of the best teams in basketball. Now I think they might be a true top contender. Although you could make if Jake LaRavia actually ends up being what he was for Memphis in a more expanded role, then they might not need that. I wouldn't be surprised if Jake LaRavia ends up being the starter like a quarter or midway through the season. Jared Vanderbilt, if he actually improves his 3-point shooting. Also, a thing you got to keep in mind, like, if we get back Jared Vanderbilt from, the conference finals run, because last year he was coming off injury and he wasn't the same. He was behind on a step. He didn't look right. I talked about it numerous times over the season where I was like, man, he's making a lot of plays that he usually would have made. Like, he's getting blown by in areas that he wouldn't have gotten blown by in the past. Like, he's just like a step behind. I talked about it again very heavily. Well, if he gets back to being the Jared Vanderbilt we know and love, he might solve it because you'll be able to keep him on the court more than you were with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Why? Because unlike Anthony Davis, Luka doesn't care about the paint being packed, right? Like, the reason Jared Vanderbilt hurt was because teams would just pack the paint, and that's where LeBron James and Anthony Davis operate. It's where they live, right? They're not, like, they can shoot over the top, but that's not their game, right? LeBron wants to shoot threes or put his head down and get to the basket and kick out to shooters, right? Anthony Davis, yes, he can shoot over the top, but he wants to kind of operate in that little, floater area, right? Get to his spots, knock it down. When the paint is packed, it's hard for them to do that. When we won the in-season tournament, how did the Lakers win it? They just put LeBron James and Anthony Davis on the block and ran everything through them, right? And so what did Denver and teams do? They just started packing the paint. Well, with Luka, he is a jump shooter. He does shoot over the top, and it's actually one of his preferred methods. So he's fine with the paint being packed because he wants to create that dribble penetration. He wants to collapse the paint defense so he can throw that outlet to the lob threat or kick out to the various shooters. And if they don't, then he just shoots over the top and knocks it down. So Jared Vanderbilt becoming an offensive liability, Luka's not worried about it because he doesn't care if there's 5 guys in the paint. He'll just shoot over all 5 of them because he can. And all 5 of them aren't going to collapse because if all 5 of them collapse, then then now Jared Vanderbilt is coming off of that corner heading for the basket, and that's an easy, bounce pass or lob to him, or DeAndre Ayton who can jump out the building. That's an easy lob or dump off to him. So again, there is an argument that this team might not need it. That they might not need anything. Like, they might be good enough, right, in the season. And there's an argument to kind of stay the course, be patient until we actually see and find out. But ideally, I think that the Lakers need a 6'7", versatile kind of 2-3 type guy that could defend 1 through 3, knock down the open 3, and then go get a better backup center. It doesn't have to be like somebody insane. Again, like I said, Nick Richards, something like that, perfect. Have him be your primary backup. Jackson Hayes now moves to the 3rd center, which is where I prefer him in. You can still play Jackson Hayes 10, 15 minutes a night. There's still going to be nights where he's going to get, starting level minutes or, 20 minutes, right? There's options there. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.